And today I'm going to talk uh, a bit about um, why the world needs pornography criticism. And, I've thought about this before because I keep thinking about making a funny video that will go viral or something. And it seems remarkably funny to think of a pornography critic because a critic is something you associate with high intellectual life and, you know, education, sophistication, and you think of pornography as being this dramatically unsophisticated act, you know, creation of human civilization. And, um, I'm actually not entirely sure that what the world needs is pornography critics. And yet, I feel there's something worth talking about with regards to pornography criticism, at least with regard to, what it means to be a critic, what it means to have as a part of civilization pornography, what it means to sort of put those two things together, and, you know, yeah. Anyway, I actually just laid out a little bit about like how the video might look like. Criticism, pornography, criticism plus pornography. So, maybe actually I should start it the other way. Go the other way. Pornography, criticism, criticism plus pornography. So, pornography is something that you watch. Wait, we can do a better start than that. Come on. Pornography. Okay, so here's something. Okay, here's what I was thinking. So, with pornography, the actors and actresses seem content. And part of the reason that they seem content is because they're being given money, right? And that's to say that there's a contentment in the actors and actresses' eyes that is not in line with how they would feel if there was no money involved, right? Now, I don't actually know what people would feel like in pornography if they were not being given money. Would it be horror? Would it be a more real version of pleasure, a more um, immediate sense of connection, or would it be a sense of, you know, the opposite, like a very extreme disconnection, alienation, you know? What would they feel? Well, let's stay with the fact that they feel something very different from what they would normally feel, right? And because of that, when you watch pornography, you're you think you're watching sex, right? But actually, you're watching two people who are playing out a role, and where their mind really is the money and this sort of success of the transaction, right? And so you have this sense that what people feel, this contentment, is a very is a real contentment, or it's somehow connected with the fact they're having sex, when actually it has nothing to do with the fact they're having sex, you know? And so you have this sort of, you might say it's a filter of real emotion. You know, there's this sort of dull dullness to pornography, a sort of filter that is um, giving a false sense of satisfaction. And and so what would the critics do? I mean, let's say there is this filter, right, in pornography. So what would the critics do? Why do we need a critic? I'm gonna delete this. I feel like I actually finished talking about that. The critic would help to add back that real emotion, I think. And the way they would do this is by by showing us what the actors really feel, right? Or helping to point the people into the places where the filter wasn't strong enough, so to speak, where there was some real um, emotion that didn't get filtered out. And they would point to this and they would say, look, here's the actual quality of their sex, right? Like, here's what actually is being felt when these two people have sex, right? You would take the critic would be a highly sensitive person who understands sex very well, I suppose, and maybe it's not actually possible. Maybe it's this is a problem with all criticism. Like with, art, it's impossible to say you truly understand what art is, right? Art is not like a game like chess or something. You can understand chess in a calculated way, yet you cannot understand something like pornography, or I mean sex in a um, analyzed way. I mean, it would be inhuman to say you understand sex, just as it would be inhuman to say you understand something like love, or just as it would be inhuman to say you understand something like mm, language. You know, real, authentic language, real authenticity is always the beginning. And to say you understand what comes before that is inhuman, I think. And so maybe there's a problem with being a critic in general, but here's why there might need to be a pornography critic, right? It's because there needs to be somebody who can work their way through this filter and pick up on what's really going on, right? And this way, people um, they don't pick up on the filter itself, right? They don't pick up on that that contentment which has nothing to do with the sex, right? They don't pick up on the message that the sex is just whatever it is, and however it is ends up being, you know, content, right? The women are content with whatever they're getting because of the fact that they're being paid, right? And so, because, how do you say this? If you can restore the authenticity by undoing the filter a little bit, then maybe people can have a more can undo the filter within themselves. Yeah. Okay, I'm happy with the video. Okay, bye bye.